Yogi Adityanath government announces to conduct a survey of unrecognized madrasas in the state to gather information on basic facilities in the institutions.
जो मदरसा बोर्ड के तहत उत्तर प्रदेश में वो आपका रिकॉर्ड है। ये मदरसे से ये जो प्राइवेट मदरसे हैं जो मदरसा बोर्ड से रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं है, जो आर्टिकल 30 के तहत उनको राइट है, आप क्यों करेंगे सर्वे उनका? आपको क्या राइट है करने का? क्यों करेंगे आप?
AIMIM Chief Asauddin Owaisi calls the UP government move a mini NRC, questions why RSS run schools not surveyed. For the first time, cover-up angle emerges in the Sia rape scandal. Former MLA says the mutt refused to help the girls. Chitradurga Mutt secretary sacked. Warden has now been questioned, but the main accused still roams free. Ladies and gentlemen, the Uttar Pradesh government has announced that it will conduct a survey of unrecognized madrasas in the state to gather information about number of teachers, curriculum, basic facilities available there, among others. And the move has reignited the debate on regularization of unrecognized madrasas. While Assam government's unrelenting action on illegal madrasas has already garnered reactions from both sides, Yogi government's move is now being called a mini NRC. But what's wrong with action against illegal madrasas, or for that matter, in any institution? Let's not forget the numbers that we have right now. 38 arrests that have been made linked to the AQIS. What are we really supposed to do when there are terror links that are emerging? The fact that there are madrasas that have been built on government land illegally, what is the government really supposed to do? We debate after this report.
A day after madrasas with alleged terror link was raised in Assam, the Yogi Adityanath government in Uttar Pradesh has announced to conduct a survey in unrecognized madrasas.
उत्तर प्रदेश में गैर सरकारी मान्यता प्राप्त मदरसों का यूपी सरकार सर्वे कराने जा रही है। आपको बता दें कि अल्पसंख्यक कल्याण द्वारा ये निर्णय लिया गया है कि वो मदरसे जो सरकार द्वारा मान्यता प्राप्त नहीं है या जो सरकार से जिनको अनुदान नहीं जाता है, उन सभी मदरसों का सर्वे कराया जाएगा। इसके पीछे की मंशा ये है कि वहाँ पर की जो स्थिति है उसको जाना जाए, जिसमें वहाँ पर कितने विद्यार्थी पढ़ते हैं, कहाँ से फंड आता है, कितने टीचर्स हैं।
And the Uttar Pradesh government claims the purpose is to ensure the basic facilities to the students.
योगी सरकार लगातार ग्राउंड लेवल पर आम जन के बेहतरी के लिए काम कर रही है और हमने जब से हमारी सरकार आई, अब देखिए हमने मदरसा को और अच्छा और बेहतर बनाने के लिए काम किया है। जहाँ भी ऐसी शिकायत आती है कि मदरसे में अच्छी शिक्षा व्यवस्था नहीं है या और कोई खामियां हैं, हम कानूनी दायरे में पूरी ईमानदारी से उसके ऊपर जांच करके उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई करते हैं। हमारा मंशा ये है कि मदरसा एजुकेशन को हम बेहतर अच्छा बनाएं।
Oppositions to the move are already surfacing.
These madrasas don't take any grants from the government, and this is a clear violation of Article 30. This is, how can you stop me from running a madrasa according to I have the right to administer that madrasa. Why can't this same survey being done for all Vidya Mandir, Shishu Mandir, or even private schools, or even government Uttar Pradesh schools? You find out how many girls' schools have toilets or not, how many electricity connection is there, what is the drinking water facility is there. This is a targeted survey which is being done.
With the unrelenting crackdown on terror activities by Himanta Sarma government,
Government of Assam doesn't have any intention to go on demolishing madrasa. Our only intention is to see that madrasas are not used by any jihadi element.
the question is, What's wrong with bulldozing illegal institutions? Why should a move to reform any institution, even if it's madrasas, be opposed? And what's wrong with action on illegal madrasas? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, at the outset of the debate only, let's make this very clear that the issue is not about one particular community. The issue is not about one particular religion. The issue is about national security and how exactly should the government really respond when there are certain threats. There are antisocial elements who have entered the country and are hoping that there would be some sort of a base that would be created for them. On the burning question tonight, Binay Singh, Ambar Zaidi, Shiraj Nair, National Spokesperson of the VHP, Syed Asam Wakar, National Spokesperson of the AIMIM, Khaliqur Rahman, Political Analyst, Sabir Singh, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Opening up the debate, Syed Asam Wakar and Shiraj Nair. I'll have both on the screens right now. फर्स्ट टू यू सैयद वकार साहब, सबसे पहले आपको ये कहना चाहूंगा कि ये कोई मजहब के बारे में, आई एम टोल्ड दैट सैयद असीम वकार वुड बी जॉइनिंग अस इन अ शॉर्ट व्हाइल फ्रॉम नाउ. लेट मी जस्ट ओपन दिस अप विद Khaliqur Rahman and Shiraj Nair. Khaliqur Rahman, can I take this question to you? At the outset, as I pointed out, this is not about one particular religion. This is not about one particular community. This is about how the government should essentially respond when there are reports essentially suggesting that Mufti Hafizur Rahman, a member of the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, was a teacher in this madrasa which was raised down by the Assam government. I really want to know what was the alternative.
Good evening to all my co-panelists and good evening to all the viewers. In fact, because the madrasa in question here, and which seem to have the alleged links, so definitely the government, should go deeper into this to establish the link. And once the link is established, then definitely, the necessary and the appropriate action has to be initiated as per the law. So that, in fact, I think, whether it is in Assam or whether it is in UP or whichever.
Then where is the problem? Then demolishing the madrasa was an appropriate action, because what was exactly happening since 2018? Because since 2018, Mufti Hafizur Rahman was a teacher there. There is jihadi literature that was recovered when the raids were carried out by the police.
Only
there is ample enough evidence to basically prove the fact that yes, there are certain modules that are operating from multiple parts of Assam, especially the border areas.
See, if only one teacher of that madrasa was having the link, then it does not justify that you go and demolish the entire madrasa building. So what you can do is whoever, and what the government can do and government should do is whoever is involved or whoever's linked is established, then they should be in fact taken to the task. They should be booked as per the law. But why, demolish the madrasa and why penalize the students there who are studying who are innocent?
Let me take this.
What role the students have?
Fair enough.
The students
fair enough. An opening point on that note, can I have Shiraj Nair? No, you've made the point. Let's just break it down. You have enough time. You, Khaliqur Rahman, I'll give you enough time. Let's take it one by one.
Okay.
You are saying that if you have one person who has links with a terror group, take action on him. Why the madrasa? Shiraj Nair, I want you to take that. Question here is that, is this an attempt to send across a larger message? Khaliqur Rahman is saying that you have found the teacher. He's got terror links. What has the madrasa got to do with it?
See, any action that is taken by the state government, it is based on some intelligence reports. The state government very well knows that if they take any action which is not with the law, they can be challenged in the court. Now here an action is taken, it has to be welcomed, it is in the larger interest of the nation. Now second thing I was hearing to Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, now see his statement, it is absolutely full of double standards and it is full of hypocrisy. Now in the recently concluded UP election, he was roaming around from one district to another carrying all the data that in the Muslim community, they have the largest number of school dropouts They have largest number of malnutrition children. They have maximum number of unemployed people. They have maximum number of people who are poor and living under the poverty line. And now these people want their children, their children get educated abroad. And the poor Muslims, they wanted to study in madrasas, which teach them nothing as far as science is concerned, technology is concerned, maths is concerned, or engineering is concerned, anything which comes in line with the modern education. So this thing has to be, and this people remain backward, and they in turn become liability for the entire nation. So whatever the action is taken by the UP government, as well as the Assam government, it is absolutely a welcome move. It has to be welcome.
Okay, Sriraj Nair of the VHP says it's a welcome move. Joining us, Syed Asim Wakar, the national spokesperson of the AIMIM, is joining us on this debate. वकार साहब, आपसे सीधा सवाल जो मैं करना चाहूँगा वो है कि 3 ऐसे मदरसाज हैं जहाँ पे डिमोलिशन हो चुकी हैं और ये कहा जा रहा है कि सीधे तौर तक AQIS अल-कायदा इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट के साथ लिंक उभर कर आ रहा है। अगर ऐसे लिंक आते हैं, आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं कि आप क्या करना चाहिए? वैसे मदरसा जहाँ से जिहादी लिटरेचर मिलता है, वैसे मदरसा जहां से शुरुआत में हमने ये कहा कि ये कोई मजहब की बातें की नहीं है, ये कोई कम्युनिटी की बात नहीं कर रहे, हम सीधे तौर से सिर्फ यही पूछ रहे हैं कि नेशनल सिक्योरिटी को नजरअंदाज ना करके हम नेशनल सिक्योरिटी की अगर बात करें और इसमें कोई रिलीजन को ना लाए तो बेहतर नहीं होगा?
देखिए जनाब, मैंने हेमंत विश्व शर्मा जी से एक बयान जारी करके एक सवाल पूछा था। कोई भी व्यक्ति इस देश का जो भारत का नागरिक है वो कभी भी किसी आतंकवादी गतिविधि या आतंकवाद के साथ नहीं खड़ा होगा, ना उसके साथ अपने को खड़ा करेगा। लेकिन ये तय कौन करेगा? अगर आपको कहीं कुछ ऐसा मिलता है तो बिल्कुल आप जेल भेजिए, कार्रवाई कीजिए। लेकिन अगर एक टीचर कहीं किसी जगह इन्वॉल्व है या कोई स्टूडेंट इन्वॉल्व है तो क्या पूरी इमारत गिरा देंगे आप?
को लोकल सपोर्ट मिला है।
और ऐसा नहीं है कि हिंदुस्तान में कई बार सर बोलने देखिए, मैं यहाँ पर किसी से बोलिए मत, मैं यहाँ अपनी बात रखूंगा और उसके बाद में अगर आप ये कह रहे हैं कि मैं 2-4 मिनट बैठूं तो ठीक, वरना मैं भी चला जाऊं उठकर। सुनिए सर, मेरी बात सुनिए पहले, पूरी आने दीजिए।
आपको किसी ने जाने के लिए नहीं कहा है। डिबेट है वकार साहब, दूसरे तौर भी आपको सवाल जरूर करेंगे, पर मैं ये कह रहा हूं श्रीराज नायर को मैं वापस दरख्वास्त कर रहा हूं कि वो रुक जाए। आप अपनी पूरी बात रखिए।
सर, मैंने सीधी सी ये बात कही कि अगर आपने किसी को गिरफ्तार किया, उसको कई बार ऐसा हुआ कि लोग गिरफ्तार हुए, आतंकवाद में जेल गए, 10-10, 15-15 साल जेल रहे और बाद में बेगुनाह साबित होकर अदालत से आ गए। जो चार्ज उन पे लगाया गया वो चार्ज ही नहीं था। ऐसा हुआ, कई बार हुआ, इसी देश में हुआ। आप ही लोग के चैनलों से, आप ही लोग के जरिए से हम लोग को मालूम पड़ता है। मेरा सीधा सवाल यह है कि अगर कोई इल्जाम प्रूफ नहीं हुआ, आपने डिसाइड कैसे कर लिया कि जो आपके मुखबिर ने बताया, जो आपके पुलिस ने कार्रवाई की, दैट इज फाइनल? आपने गिरा दिया इतनी बड़ी इमारत को, आप मदरसों को गिरा रहे हैं, आप जहां बच्चे एजुकेशन ले रहे हैं उनको गिरा रहे हैं। मैंने हेमंत विश्व शर्मा जी से कहा है कि बहुत ताकत आपके बुलडोजर में है, आपकी बाजुओं में बहुत ताकत है। होड़ लग गई बीजेपी वालों में, होड़ लग गई है बीजेपी वालों में आपस में कि बुलडोजर मैन।
चलिए, आपने अपनी बात रखी,
चाइना बना रहा है।
आपको एक और एक सवाल करना चाहूंगा, मैं बिरय सिंह को भी इस वक्त लेके आना चाहूंगा।
सुनिए सर,
आपने अपनी बात रखी, अब मैं एक सवाल करूं आपसे।
घुसकर चाइना हमारी जमीन में घुसकर, सुनिए सर, कर लीजिएगा।
चलिए, चाइना की बात कर लेंगे हम, पर एक सीधा सवाल आपसे।
घुसकर कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहा है, अपने बंकर बना रहा है, ब्रिजेस बना रहा है। जरा भेजिए बुलडोजर वहां पर, दिखाइए मजलूमों पे, गरीबों पे, कमजोरों पे आप बुलडोजर चलाते हैं। भेजिए जरा चाइना के सामने बुलडोजर, ताकत देखें आपकी। चाइना से भी देश को खतरा है।
आप क्या कहना चाहते कि चाइना को गलवान में तो हमने दिखा दी थी, बट नहीं आप देखिए वकार साहब, अभी हम चाइना पे डिबेट नहीं कर रहे, डिबेट जो हो रही है काफी गंभीर मामला है। सवाल मैं आपसे एक तरह से ये करना चाहूंगा, वो ये है कि अगर इलीगल मदरसा है,
चाइना हमारी जमीन पे घुस के कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहा है, गिराइए उस कंस्ट्रक्शन को, उस कंस्ट्रक्शन को गिराइए, मुझे अकल मत दीजिए।
श्रवण, यू मस्ट रेस्ट्रिक्ट टू द,
आप मेरे को एक चीज बताइए, बिना इस वक्त जुड़ रहे, बिना भी ये सवाल करना चाहेंगे, बिना भी ये सवाल करना चाहेंगे, आप ये बताइए, चलिए आप ये कहते हैं कि लगातार किसी एक कम्युनिटी को टारगेट किया जा रहा है, आप ये कहते हैं, बट ये भी तो बताना बहुत जरूरी है कि एक तरह से एक मुहिम इन्होंने छेड़ी है जहां पे वो ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि मदरसा के जो बच्चे हैं वो मॉडर्न एजुकेशन उनको मिले, और ये भी कोशिश किया जा रहा है ताकि वो एक तरह से नए तरीके की एजुकेशन को अपनाएं। जब इलीगल मदरसाज हैं तो उसके साथ क्या करना चाहिए? विनय सिंह भी एक सवाल करना चाहेंगे और आप दोनों सवाल के जवाब साथ में दीजिए।
Shravan, you see what AIM chief has just said. He wants that madrasas should be recognized as mainstream education. So madrasas, he's comparing it with, Shisu Mandirs of RSS. So let me make you clear that the RSS run institutions, they have a curriculum based on CBSE. They don't have a curriculum of their own. And the second thing, Asaduddin Owaisi, he's a barrister. He has studied in London. And the community he's representing, the politics of the community he does, he wants them to be deprived of the mainstream education. So look at this dual standard. And the second thing, Shravan, this is not for the first time that alarm has been raised. In 2005, it was the UPA government. And S. Raghupati, a DMK leader, he was Minister of State for Home. You go through his report, that is a 62-page report. He has raised alarm about the madrasas in the eastern borders, whole of the country, that how these madrasas are being funded across the borders and how they are being used against the country. But again, that was the UPA government. He was a UPA minister, home minister of his state from a DMK, so-called secular party. But what happened? That report went into files, and now dust is on the files and nobody cares. So what that report mentions. And one more thing, Shravan, let me complete this. This is very important to, and Wakar Sahab also must note this, that radicalization is just not a issue about which just India is concerned. Many other countries, including Pakistan, let me make an example of Pakistan, a very positive thing I'll tell you, that there are two reports, one published from Routledge publication, Zahid Sahab and Qamar Abbas Jafri, they have prepared the report, and the second is published from Cambridge publication, and emerging trends of campus radicalization. So they have studied the higher education's radicalization in higher education institutions in madrasas. And you know what the output is? That level of radicalization has nothing to do with level of education. Even students from higher educational institutions, they are getting more radicalized. But madrasas, if you deprive them from mainstream education, they are vulnerable to radicalization. I don't say that all the product that will come out of the madrasa that will be radical, but yes, they are vulnerable to radicalization, and you must, as a leader of the community, you claim to be a leader of the community, your party claims to be a leader of the community, you have a role that you must connect them with the mainstream education system. Yes, Shravan.
Okay. वकार साहब, विनय सीधे तौर पर ये कह रहे हैं कि आपके जो पार्टी लीडर है वो बैरिस्टर साहब है, वो खुद लंदन में पढ़ चुके हैं, और आज आप चाहते हैं कि जितने बाकी बच्चे जो मदरसा में जा रहे हैं, ये नहीं कहा जा रहा है कि पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही है, सवाल ये उठाया जा रहा है कि मॉडर्न एजुकेशन के साथ जोड़ने की जो बात मुख्यमंत्री, असम के मुख्यमंत्री की जो वो बात करते हैं, उसके खिलाफ क्यों है?
देखिए, सबसे पहली बात तो जितने भी फंडेड एडेड मदरसे हैं सरकार के द्वारा पूरे देश में, उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं खाली, उन सब में वो कोर्स चलता है जो बाकी स्कूलों में चलता है। एनसीईआरटी की बुक्स चलती हैं, इंग्लिश, हिंदी, मैथ, साइंस सब पढ़ाया जाता है। बोल रहे थे भाई साहब, मैं थोड़ा सा नाम में कंफ्यूज हूँ इनका। सर, मदरसा की मीनिंग क्या होती है? पहले तो आप ये समझने की कोशिश कीजिए, मदरसा इस्लामिक वर्ड है। मदरसे का मतलब होता है स्कूल, जैसे कॉन्वेंट का मतलब होता है स्कूल, जैसे विद्यापीठ का मतलब होता है स्कूल। अपनी अपनी, जैसे आपने विद्यापीठ कहा तो हम समझ जाएंगे कि यहाँ शिक्षा दी जाती है। किसी क्रिश्चियन ने कहा कॉन्वेंट, तो हम समझ जाएंगे कि ये स्कूल है, यहाँ शिक्षा दी जाती है। ऐसे ही अपने दिमाग में निकाल लीजिए, मदरसे का मतलब एजुकेशन सेंटर। और हर मजहब को अपने धर्म की शिक्षा देने की इजाजत है, छूट है। मदरसों में जो सरकारी मदरसे हैं उनमें पहले से एनसीईआरटी कोर्स पढ़ाया जा रहा है। हमारा सवाल यह है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में आपने कहा मदरसों की जांच करेंगे, आपने एक मैसेज दिया कि साहब हम बहुत मुसलमानों की शिक्षा के लिए बहुत अग्रेसिव हैं और हम बहुत चाहते हैं कि मुसलमान शिक्षा हासिल करें। तो जो पहले से मदरसे रजिस्टर्ड हैं लगभग 16,000 के आसपास जो उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के पास, उनके टीचर्स को, जो एडेड मदरसे हैं उनके टीचर्स को 5 साल से तनख्वाह नहीं मिली है। आप तनख्वाह दीजिए। सवाल नंबर 2, बहुत गौर से सुनिएगा। आज ही मैंने दानिश अंसारी साहब जो मिनिस्टर हैं उनसे पूछा, आप ये दिखावा कर रहे हो कि आप हमदर्दी, बस मुसलमानों का उत्थान, बस्तियों का उत्थान, एजुकेशंस का उत्थान, बच्चों का उत्थान। बजट आपने दिया 2022-23 का 1,782 करोड़ रुपए, 1,782 करोड़ रुपए बजट आपने एलोकेट किया है 22-23 के लिए। उत्तर प्रदेश में मुसलमान रहते हैं 4 करोड़ के आसपास। अगर इस 4 करोड़ मुसलमानों पे ये बजट को खर्चा करिएगा तो 440-45 रुपए, 444 के आसपास ये पर ईयर पर मुसलमान का बजट आएगा। ₹1.22 प्रति व्यक्ति प्रतिदिन ये बजट है आपका। ₹1.22 प्रति व्यक्ति में आप कौन सी एजुकेशन देंगे, कैसे देंगे, कैसे डेवलपमेंट करेंगे, सामाजिक उत्थान करेंगे? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, बताइए, मुझे बता दीजिए। हो सकता हो मैं कहीं गलत हूं तो मैं आपकी बात मान लूंगा, लेकिन बताइएगा जरूर कि ₹1.22
अंबर जैदी
प्रति व्यक्ति प्रतिदिन ये जो बजट आपने एलोकेट किया है इसमें विकास कैसे?
चलिए आपके सवाल को मैं अंबर जैदी के पास लेके जाता हूं। चलिए आपके सवाल को मैं अंबर जैदी के पास लेके जाता हूं। अंबर जैदी, as Mr. Wakar was saying, Binay can also respond to that. But first, Amber Zaidi, you've heard the questions that Wakar is essentially raising. One, saying that this is nothing but a pure hogwash, because you are trying to say that you are basically doing all of this for the upliftment of one particular community. But the fact of the matter is that this entire bulldozer activity of the Uttar Pradesh government and the Assam government is largely being perceived as what the AIMIM is calling nothing but yet another attempt to target one community. Is there a problem? Is there a perception problem that the way you are handling this entire situation?
See, first of all, Shravan, I want to counter one thing which Asim Wakar has said, that Madrasa is an Islamic term. Islamic term, it's not an Islamic term, it's an Arabic term. Madrasa means institution, educational institution. It's an Arabic word, and I wanted to raise that point in the beginning also, but I didn't get a chance to mention that. I have a problem with that, and I strictly object that we should have our own Indianized terms to name our own educational institutions. Why can't we have our own Indianized terms? And coming back to the point, the way OACG has objected to this entire step of modernization of Madrasa, had he been the nationalist or a well-wisher of Muslim community, he should have welcomed this step, because modernization of Madrasa or the children who are supposedly the deprived of, and they are somehow backward, they don't have money, and because of that they go to the Madrasa, and for because their parents can't afford the education, modern education. If they are getting connected with the mainstream education, what is wrong in that? He and his party, they already setting a narrative that government is anti-Muslim, and they are not letting them trust the government. Let them believe and let them trust the government, and they should also get the level field playing. They have equal right to get education. He always mentioned the
Wakar
Constitution
is raising
of India
a different
and Baba Saheb
issue.
Ambedkar, and also in this matter he mentioned the article. See,
No,
if
Wakar
the
is saying,
government want to
Wakar is saying that look at
survey
the
and they
budget of the
want
Uttar Pradesh
to
government.
connect with the. First of all, let them
There is one more specific question that he's trying to ask. Wakar is saying that the UP government's budget, UP government's budget is essentially so small, minuscule, that it essentially does not reap into any benefit for the community. He is alleging that this is nothing but a hogwash because the real aim of the government right now is to target the community. Sriraj Nair.
On the other hand, OSCG has also said that these madrasas are not government funded, so they don't have any say to conduct a survey on that. If Article 30 is giving you a right to run your own institution, that doesn't mean that nobody
I think so. Sriraj Nair also wants to respond. Ambar Zaidi, I got your point.
Well, it's very clear here.
Complete your point. I want Sriraj to then come in.
Yeah, well,
Amber,
this is very...
let Amber just make her point and then you can come in.
Yeah.
Amber, you can finish your. You can finish making your point.
That if government, everybody is equal. Yeah, just my point is simple and only that everybody is everybody is equal before the law. And when it comes to the constitution, he very well conveniently twists the constitution. Every child of this country, they deserve an equal right to education. And you are giving the underage child, you are giving them a specialized education, and you are creating a separatist mindset already, not giving them level field playing. This is the violation of Equal Right to Education Act of the children.
Okay, there are two aspects which remains unaddressed. Wakar has raised this at the beginning of the debate. I want to take them to Sriraj Nair. The first point Wakar was pointing out, Sriraj Nair, is that you have one individual who has links with a terror group, alleged links with a terror group. Based on that, action is taken to demolish the entire madrasa. Secondly, you are saying that all of this is being done keeping in mind that you want to uplift the education system for that very community. I want to ask this question, as Wakar is saying that you don't have the budget to do that. Wakar is saying that you have hardly a percentage of the entire budget, and then you are saying that you are willing to go all out for the upliftment of that very community and making modern education as nothing but just a carrot that you're trying to dangle.
Well, first of all, I'm really wondering why are they so scared about the reforms. These people, especially Mr. Owaisi and his party and the spokesperson sitting here, they should not worry about the budget part. The government will have enough budget to take care of whatever they are going to commit. But the problem here is, even in Saudi Arabia, which is considered as the cradle of Islam, their Sultan, Muhammad Sultan bin Sultan, he wants to make Saudi Arabia Europe. And here this Owaisi and his coterie want to make Indian Muslim, they want to take the Indian Muslim to the Stone Age. That is the biggest problem. That is an hypocrisy. They are scared of the reforms because they want to ensure that their people remain uneducated. They remain in poverty. They don't come in the mainstream. They don't learn science, technology, engineering, maths, economics. They want them to remain backward so that they can send their children for education to abroad, and their people will remain backward. And ultimately, what is happening is, I want to tell you, these people are going to become liability for this nation. These people are absolutely hypocrites. Mr. Owaisi roams here and there with data.
Mr. Nair, let's not jump the gun also. Whether they are a liability or they are not, let's not jump the gun right now. You have raised the point that why should someone be afraid of bringing in certain reforms? It's a very valid point. वकार साहब, वापस आपको ये सवाल करना चाहूंगा कि देखिए, लगातार जब लोग यही कह रहे हैं कि आखिरकार आप और आपकी पार्टी कहीं ना कहीं, जो श्रीराज नायर ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि आप डर क्यों रहे हैं अगर कोई रिफॉर्म लाने की कोशिश किया जा रहा है, बदलाव लाने की कोशिश किया जा रहा है, हाँ आपकी बात भी सही है कि आपके पास बजट नहीं है, आप कहते हैं कि रिफॉर्म कर लेंगे, चलिए वो बात को मानने के लिए तैयार है, वो सवाल हम वापस उठा रहे हैं। बट अगर रिफॉर्म की बात किया जाए, मॉडर्न एजुकेशन की बात किया जाए, तो कहीं ना कहीं आपकी पार्टी को प्रॉब्लम क्यों हो रही है? दूसरी बात, अगर सर्वे की बात हो रही है, जो सर्वे को लेकर आज आपत्ति आप जना रहे हैं, आज आप जहां आपके पार्टी लीडर ये कहते हैं कि मिनी एनआरसी हो जा रहा है, एक चीज मेरे को बताइए, क्या आप नहीं चाहेंगे कि हमारे देश सुरक्षित रहे? क्या आप नहीं चाहेंगे कि कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो बांग्लादेश के सबसे बड़ा जिहादी ग्रुप एबीटी, क्या आप चाहेंगे कि उनका बेस हमारे देश में बन जाए?
सर, सबसे पहले तो बहुत शुक्रिया आपका और आपको मुबारकबाद की बहुत डिसेंट डिबेट, बहुत अच्छी डिबेट और बहुत अच्छा पैनल और बहुत अच्छे एंकर। भाई डिबेट का मतलब होता है हम अपनी बात रखें और आप अपनी बात रखें, जिसकी अच्छी बात होगी देश उसकी मान लेगा। देखिए मैंने क्या नाम बताया था, नायर साहब, शी नायर साहब का मैंने बहुत जेन्युइन सवाल उठाया। मैंने कहा जो पिछले आपके एडेड मदरसे हैं सरकार से, जिनको पहले से ऐड मिल रही है, उनको आपने 5 साल से उनके टीचर्स को तनख्वाह नहीं दी, तो कौन सा आप अपलिफ्टमेंट कर रहे हैं? और नए वालों का आप सर्वे कर रहे हैं, तो सर्वे क्यों कर रहे हैं जानकारी होना चाहिए। और सिर्फ अगर मदरसों को, यानी जो इस्लामिक नाम से स्कूल चल रहे हैं, उनको अगर आप सर्वे कर रहे हैं, तो फिर लखनऊ में लरोटो कॉन्वेंट, लामाटीनियर, सन फ्रांसिस, क्राइस्ट चर्च, कैथेड्रल, सेंट एग्नेस, इनका सर्वे क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं आप? जवाब, बहुत सी ऐसी कोचिंग सेंटर्स हैं जिसमें एजुकेशन दी जा रही है और वो प्राइवेट फॉर्म भरवाते हैं, हाई स्कूल के और इंटर के प्राइवेट फॉर्म भरवाते हैं, एजुकेशन अपने क्या देते हैं, उनके 3-3, 4-4 बच्चे हैं, वो भी सरकार से एडेड नहीं है, उनका आप सर्वे क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? सिर्फ मदरसों का सर्वे क्यों कर रहे हैं? उसके पीछे वजह क्या है? वजह यह बताई गई कि अपलिफ्टमेंट। तो मैंने पूछा 1 रुपए 22 पैसे प्रति मुसलमान प्रतिदिन के हिसाब से आप कौन सा अपलिफ्टमेंट करेंगे? क्या 1 रुपए 22 पैसे तो फीस मैं समझता हूं कि नहीं दे सकते। ना तो आप किसी बस्ती का अपलिफ्टमेंट कर सकते हैं, ना किसी को डेवलप कर सकते हैं। उसका जवाब है नहीं। सीधी सी बात, अगर आपको लगता है कि आपके पास जवाब है तो दीजिए, मैं सुनने के लिए बैठा हूं सर। मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि जिस देश में 35 रुपए का पेट्रोल 100 रुपए में बेचा जा रहा है, उस देश में 1 रुपए 22 पैसे डेली में एक व्यक्ति का आप कैसे अपलिफ्टमेंट कर देंगे? ये तो बहुत टेक्निकल वाली बात हो गई। तो फिर आप विश्वगुरु बन जाएंगे, फिर पूरा दुनिया आपसे सीखने आएगी कि क्या कमाल साहब 4 करोड़ आदमी का आपने 1782 करोड़ में आपने बिल्कुल डेवलपमेंट कर दिया। और मुझे भी अच्छा लगेगा दुनिया में लोग
आपके सवाल के जवाब के लिए हम
कि कौन सा जादू है आपके पास कि 1 रुपए 22 पैसे में आप एक आदमी का डेवलपमेंट कर,
ये सवाल
बताइए। बोल रहे हैं नायर साहब।
वकार साहब, मैं चाहूंगा बिना आपके सवाल का जवाब दें। अंबर I'll come back to you. वकार is 1 minute Mr. Nair, all of you hold on 1 minute Binay. Now Binay, just 1 minute, I'll just let me just begin.
और यहाँ पर ये लोगों को जाहिल क्यों रखना चाहते हैं?
एक मिनट Mr. Nair, I'll come back to you. I want Mr. Nair and Sabir Singh to respond in a while, but Wakar's point, your intervention, Wakar is saying, Binay, which in one way we need to ask this question also, that there are certain Christian missionary networks operating in India. Allegation being, be it in the state of Maharashtra, be it in the state of Jharkhand, that these allegations of forceful conversion taking place. Wakar is saying that if you want to do a service, do it, fair enough, go ahead, do it with any other school in Lucknow. La Martiniers there are various other private institutions, there are hundreds of institutions working, there are Christian missionary institutes that are working where allegations are also against them. So if you are saying that madrasas have been linked to certain terror groups, Christian missionary network schools have also been linked to forceful conversion. These are all allegations, mind you. These are all allegations. Binay, Vakar is saying that आपको सर्वे करना तो सबका कीजिए.
ठीक है ना, 15-20 मिनट के लिए थे.
Shravan, so 480 crores they have been allotted for a religious, education in UP. So that comes to 1.22 rupees. But again, you see that religious education of Hindus or Christians, the amount is 0. So it is the only madrasas are getting fund. None of the other religious institutions, they are getting government subsidy or they are getting government allotments. So let this leave this debate. What I want to say that you look, Savan, education is like a weapon which an individual, a community or a country, it uses it to fight poverty, underdevelopment and other issues. So when people try to deprive a community from mainstream education, that is just appeasement. That may satisfy the ego of a community, but that won't help in progressing. Instead it will work like a blockade. And Savan, what the main point, what I like to make, that we are not going through simple times, we are going through hard times. We are facing a warfare with this 5th generation warfare technology. And underdevelopment of a certain community, not just Muslims, underdevelopment of any community can be used against this country. So we need to mainstream the education system of all the communities. Let me leave the Muslim issue. Let me talk about, the education system of the tribals. The government is working on war footing. Eklavya schools, means hundreds of Eklavya schools they are coming. And the government, they are doing war footing, they are subsidizing, they want to
in fact,
give mainstream education to the tribals, those who are not able to get such education. So all the communities, just 5 seconds, all the communities, not just Muslim, those who have been deprived of mainstream education, they must, all the institutions, the political party, the government, they have a duty to connect them, to hook them with the mainstream education system. That is what I want to say. Yes, Shravan.
I want Samir to come in. Samir has been waiting here quite patiently. Samir, thank you very much. You've heard all the points that have been made so far. The reason why I'm bringing you a little late right now, I wanted you to hear all the opinions, because you've been in power for quite some time in one of the most populous states, which has now become, questions are essentially being raised about a different government taking certain action. But once again, as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, what Binay has also been pointing out, two things really emerge. One, with regards to bringing in modern education. And we've seen AIMIM and other parties have objected to it, saying that first of all, you don't have the right to tell us what we have to do. Secondly, saying it's our fundamental right if we want to continue with our religious studies. But the fact of the matter, Sriraj Nair was also pointing out, and Binay Singh has also just pointed out, why should you have a problem with ushering in much needed reforms?
Good evening, Shravan, and as you just said, I'd just like an uninterrupted 2 minutes because I've waited for the major part of the debate. So I'd request all the panelists to please not interrupt when I'm speaking, because I have 2 points of views on 2 different incidents. So first of all, as Samajwadi Party has been very vocal about the incidents that involve the bulldozer. We have always, been of the opinion that the bulldozer activity, the reason why the bulldozer is used and the way the bulldozer is used is under question. And the incident that has happened in Assam, that has taken place in Assam, I think, look, we are not ready to compromise with national security. Nobody is. National security is of paramount importance, and there is no question about it. But I don't think this is fair that if anybody from any institution is found guilty of anything, then the related institution can be demolished. First, and the second is that I think the BJP or the Assam government is in contradictory to statements to each other, because on one hand it is being projected as a step that has been taken, a message that has been given, that if a madrasa is found breeding terrorists or jihadi activists, then they will be bulldozed. On the other hand, the Assam the district administration of where this incident has happened, they have issued a notice that they have questioned that the building was unstable and that it had to be demolished. So first of all, we need to clear out what exactly is the reason behind the demolition, which we know, because time and again we have seen the bulldozer activity being carried out in UP, in Assam, and in various other states. So we are against bulldozing an institution because somebody from that institution, a teacher or a student, has been found involved in a crime, be it a terrorism activity or be it in any other crime. That is the first aspect of it. The second, when you come to Uttar Pradesh, so again I like to clear out one very important thing, that Samajwadi Party does not stand against modernization of education system or reforms in the education system, if we consider, even if we talk about madrasas. But then the reform should be, should not be unbiased and should not be looked through a different glass for different communities or for different institutions. Like rightly said, that if a statement is being made that we want to we want to uplift the Muslim students who are taking education in the madrasas, we want to work for their betterment, we want to work for their development, then it's a serious question that why even in that case the government is biased. Why just Muslims? Why can't you first look at other government schools who are imparting education to the lower strata of the society? Why are you neglecting them? We have seen several cases. The condition of the government schools in Uttar Pradesh are in dilapidated conditions, and pictures have gone viral, very recent, where students were missing from a government school, and instead animals were tied up. So why
you've got your uninterrupted time, yes, Samir, but there is a bit of a problem. Well, all good intentions, perfectly fine, but Samir, there's a slight problem in your argument here, and the problem is this: it's like a jigsaw puzzle right now. You're talking one about educational reforms in terms of what's happening right now in government schools, buildings being in dilapidated condition, etc. And all of that is a different aspect altogether. What we are essentially talking about, and the reason why we are talking about bringing in reforms in the madrasas, because in the other schools there is a curriculum in place, be it any other religious institution also. But what was not there all this while was a curriculum in the madrasas.
Just to counter what you just said, just to respond to what you would just, the Minister for Minorities Welfare, I think the statement that he gave was that we want to give better facilities to the madrasas, which is why this survey is being conducted. When we are talking about giving better facilities to madrasas, why have you forgotten better facilities to the government schools? First you do that. And if not, my entire point is, why are you focusing on madrasas? Why are you highlighting madrasas? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to convey by pinpointing madrasas? You take it in the entire educational system, follow it, that we want to bring development, we want to give basic good facilities,
I'm not sure whether
we want to give
Sriraj Nair is
we want to have facilities and better books, availability of books throughout the system, be it madrasas, be it government schools, be it anybody that is entering to the lower part of the
Shravan, can I come in?
Okay, I'll come to you. Amber and Kalikur Rahman and Amber will come in. But Sriraj, 1 minute. Amber Zaidi, just a minute. The point that I had raised with Samir, Sriraj Nair, I want you to respond. Sriraj Nair, Samir is essentially pointing out that you are basically pinpointing and finding faults with one community, but not really looking at the larger problem that the education sector essentially faces across board.
See, first of all, now you played here what the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam said. Now, whatever the state governments do that are purely based on the intelligence report, that we have to understand. That's what the reason I said if any action if the government takes and that all the actions can be challenged in the courts. So here the government definitely might have got some intelligence reports. Based on that, only all these things has been done. But moreover, we definitely, as I said, we have a large Muslim population, and there has to be a larger reforms as far as the Madrasa education is concerned. If the children don't learn science, technology, engineering, economics, physics, where are these 20 crore more than 20 crore population Hindu Muslim population is there in this country? We have to ensure they are in the mainstream. Why? The only issue is why are they scared about for reforms? I repeatedly am saying in Saudi Arabia, Muhammad Sultan bin Salman is reforming the entire Saudi Arabia, which is the cradle of Islam. They want to make Saudi Arabia Europe. Why do people want to take their people backward?
Mr. Sriraj Nair is saying, Sriraj Nair has been repeating this point for quite some time, and and rightfully so, Khaliqur Rahman. Why should anyone be afraid for any kind of reforms? Now, Sabir has been pointing out that this should not be, perhaps targeting one community, but why look at it from that prism? Why look at it from the prism that this is about targeting one particular community? Should you or I, for that matter, anyone, for any Indian, wouldn't we be proud of the fact that if today a student of a madrasa makes us extremely proud, the nation proud, be it in any field he or she chooses. But the fact of the matter is that if right at the beginning we are saying that we are not going to allow this to happen, at the moment we are saying that let's separate the issue. Binay at the beginning of the debate was also pointing out that there is an issue that we are facing today of radicalization. Let's admit it, Khaliqur Rahman, that you have certain elements who would never want both the communities to live in peace. There are elements who are there trying their level best to ensure that students of madrasas are constantly radicalized. And this radicalization has to stop. If you want radicalization to stop, then you will have to prevent these antisocial elements from coming in. Khaliqur Rahman, that is the reason why a demolition, when it is taking place, it's also sending across a strong message that look here, you cannot perhaps use any premises in our country for carrying out radicalization.
So can I come in now? Thank you, Shravan, for having given me the time after having waited almost for about half an hour. But anyway, let me make my point very clear to you. I want to first, address the first question what you asked me, because there is no fear and there is, no one who is against the transformation of the madrasa. But what is, worrisome here is the intent of the government with which it wants to, go through the entire transformation process, which is in fact, I would say, is being done in a very selective and a targeted manner, which is a matter of great concern. And as the Minority Affairs Minister, Mr. Danish, said that they are trying to do it to provide the better facilities to madrasa. There are already about 60,000 madrasas which are registered with the government of UP, and for which there are only 479 crores funds which have been allocated. And as my co-panelist has already pointed out, that for the last 5 years, the salaries have not been paid to these aided madrasas. Then what is the point now in carrying out this action by the government to have these madrasas surveyed? That is point number one. Now point number two, coming to the radicalization issue. It is a myth and a wrong notion that the madrasa students are radicalized. There may be few instances which I am not denying, but wherever such links are established and wherever they have been found to have the links,
where are the government gang coming? This Sar Pansajuda gang are
coming from madrasas. Madrasas are producing Sar Pansajuda gang.
When you are talking,
Who is responsible for the Sar Tanzila Mafia?
The debate is going in
How come lakhs of people are coming outside after Friday Namaz? Who is responsible for that?
Let Kalikur Rahman. Okay, Sriraj Nair, let's not do that. Kalikur Rahman was, hearing out everyone patiently. Kalikur Rahman, okay, don't get riled up. Kalikur Rahman, don't get riled up. You can make your point, and then I want Ambar Zaidi to quickly respond. I'm really running short of time. Quickly, Kalikur Rahman.
Gang, where is it coming from?
Answer that question, Sir Tanzila. I want to answer that question.
Let's not do this. Let him at least make a point. Okay, Kalikur Rahman, just quickly make a point. Okay, go ahead, answer. Sriraj Nair, let's not do this, please. Let's not do this.
The see, no one has justified.
Kalikur Rahman, quickly make your point. I'm running out of time.
No one has justified the slogan of Sar Juda, and also the people who have made the comments that Koli Maro Salonku, don't you think they have to be weighed on the same scale? So why double standard here? No, we are not here to defend the people who have shouted or made those slogans of Sar Juda.
Right.
We are in fact urging the government to take the action against them. Put them behind the bars.
Okay. I'm really running short of time now. Ambar, just 10 seconds. Ambar, I'm really short of time. 10 seconds. Just quickly respond.
I wanted to make 2-3 points, but we are running out of time, as you said. But as Kalikur Rahman said, nobody pointed out that Satan Juda is justified. And also nobody has come out and said that Satan Juda is unconstitutional, illegal. Has anybody and any madrasa, anybody or any Islamic leader come out and said that we should condemn that it is unconstitutional and we should not chant
everyone has condemned.
No, you are right. It is our responsibility, Muslim community's responsibility, to take head on and counter such slogans. Isn't it?
Ambarji, Muslim community has come out.
And one more point is Samir also making that.
Okay, I'm really running short of time now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We would like to continue this, but we're really running short of time. Ambar, I'm really sorry about it. Binay Singh, Ambar Zaidi, Sriraj Nair, Syed Asim Wakar, who was there, Kalikur Rahman and Samir Singh. Thank you very much for joining us on The Burning Question.
Now, after Republic TV exposed Bihar's Minister Kartikeya Singh, who had allegedly was facing kidnapping charges, he has now resigned from Bihar cabinet. Earlier in the day, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar had changed his portfolio from law. Amid the political potboiler in Jharkhand, a cabinet meeting is scheduled for today. 5 out of 31 ministers who had earlier moved to Raipur have reached Ranchi. More ministers are now likely to join in. Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the Science Conclave at the Science City in Ahmedabad, Gujarat on the 10th of September. Science and technology ministers of all states, administrators of union territories, senior officials of various ministries, departments and CEOs of 100 startups are expected to take part in the two-day conclave. As the investigation in West Bengal's cattle smuggling case intensifies, the name of another TMC leader has now come under the CBI's radar. The CBI, while looking forward to making a major breakthrough in the case, conducted massive searches and raided 62 properties across the state.
News from across the country. Prime Minister is set to embark on a two-day visit to Kerala here. The Prime Minister will reach Kerala at 4 p.m. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Petta Tirupani Thara stretch of the Kochi Metro at 6 p.m. Notably, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and Governor Arif Mohammed will take part in this function. The UP government has issued instructions to all district magistrates to conduct a survey of unrecognized madrasas by 10th of September. The survey team will include the SDM, BSA and District Minority Affairs to crack down on illegal madrasas in UP. In another development in the horrific Dumka murder case, BJP has alleged PFI role. Kapil Mishra has said that PFI link with Shah Rukh and the accused brother need to be proved. Two JEM terrorists have been killed in Sopore encounter. ADGP Kashmir Vijay Kumar reportedly news confirmed by the ADGP of Kashmir. Reportedly, one civilian has also been injured in this encounter.
Seema Patra is a BJP leader, not a small leader. Someone who is on the National Working Committee of the BJP's Women's Wing. This BJP leader has tortured her domestic help brutally.
Seema Patra has finally been nabbed by the police. She was arrested late last night. This, of course, after Republic TV's continuous campaign.
Yogi Adityanath government announces to conduct a survey of unrecognized madrasas in the state to gather information on basic facilities in the institution. AIMIM Chief Asauddin Owaisi calls the UP government move a mini NRC, questions why RSS run schools not surveyed.
From across the country, Prime Minister is set to embark on a two-day visit to Kerala here. The Prime Minister will reach Kerala at 4 p.m. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Petta Tirupani Thara stretch of the Kochi Metro at 6 p.m. Notably, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and Governor Arif Mohammed will take part in this function. The UP government has issued instructions to all district magistrates to conduct a survey of unrecognized madrasas by 10th of September. The survey team will include the SDM, BSA and District Minority Affairs to crack down on illegal madrasas in UP. In another development in the horrific Dumka murder case, BJP has alleged PFI role. Kapil Mishra has said that PFI link with Shah Rukh and the accused brother need to be probed. Two JEM terrorists have been killed in Sopore encounter. ADGP Kashmir Vijay Kumar reportedly news confirmed by the ADGP of Kashmir. Reportedly, one civilian has also been injured in this encounter.
Seema Patra is a BJP leader, not a small leader. Someone who is on the National Working Committee of the BJP's Women's Wing. This BJP leader has tortured her domestic help brutally.
Seema Patra has finally been nabbed by the police. She was arrested late last night. This, of course, after Republic TV's continuous campaign. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has reached the UAE on a 3-day visit. He will be holding talks with his counterpart from the Gulf nation, Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed, and review comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. An encounter broke out in Bomai Sopore in North Kashmir's Baramulla district, where two terrorists affiliated to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the terror outfit, were neutralized. During the encounter, a civilian was also injured. He was immediately rushed to the hospital. His condition is said to be stable.
Aam Aadmi Party MLAs are protesting here and raising their voice up against the operation of this.
Patna Museum to maintain law and order, police personnel resorted to lathi charge.
Now, after Republic TV exposed Bihar's Minister Kartikeya Singh, who had allegedly was facing kidnapping charges, he has now resigned from Bihar cabinet. Earlier in the day, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar had changed his portfolio from law. Amid the political potboiler in Jharkhand, a cabinet meeting is scheduled for today. 5 out of 31 ministers who had earlier moved to Raipur have reached Ranchi. More ministers are now likely to join in.